Hi, New Life family. I'm Angela, and I'm part of your New Life family. You probably don't know me yet. I hope it's yet. I was in Bible study and went over Matthew 25, 1 through 13, and was asked to share just a thought that I had on it, something that I learned that I hope will help you learn from my mistakes. I'm going to just start with a quick word of prayer. Father God, thank you so much for my church family. Thank you that they are there for me and that I can turn to them when I need someone. Thank you that we're there for each other. And Father, today I just ask that you be my words. Give me the ears to hear what you want me to say, Father, and let me get out of the way here. And I love you so much. In your name I pray. Amen. All right, so I'm going to start with Matthew 25. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out." "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. "Sir, sir," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "I tell you the truth, I don't know you. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." Okay, so there's a lot in here, but the part I want to really focus on was the verse that jumped off the page at me, which was verse 12. But he replied, "I tell you the truth, I don't know you." That broke my heart because I had an experience of being at New Life since 2013, and I had been attending church every Sunday, and we moved here from California in 2013, and I was very close to my church family there, and I knew what it was supposed to feel like to have a church family. We were there for each other. We ate together. We were at the hospital when one of us was sick. We were there when when parents passed away or life happened, right? And we leaned on each other. We were like a true family. When I got here in 2013, I didn't have that yet. So we found New Life and started to attend. And then life got in the way, as it might for everybody, right? A lot of things happened, and it just kept happening and kept happening. And just one thing after another. And my dad's a mechanic, and he always told me, I'll never forget this, do not run your car on empty. Always make sure you've got enough gas in your car. He didn't even want me to go below a quarter of a tank, because he said, if you get down past a quarter of a tank, you're going to suck up all the dirty sludge at the bottom of the tank, and it's going to clog your fuel filter, and your car's not going to run like it's supposed to. And so I've always remembered that, and I always try to, I don't like to put gas in my car. Anybody can attest to that, but I've always tried to fill up my tank, keep it filled, right, and not suck up all the sludge. But when I got to Northern Virginia, I was showing up on Sunday morning, I was filling my spiritual tank, and I was running on empty midweek, And by the next Saturday, I was sucking up the sludge in my life. And my filter was getting clogged and I was exhausted. And I would show up on church, at church on Sunday and fill my tank up again. But that's pretty much how it happened every week for years. I tried to do a Bible study. I live kind of far away, so I was stuck in traffic to get down here. So I kind of let my physical distance keep me from getting engaged in my Bible study outside of Bible study. And I don't care what kind of relationship you're in. If you only spend an hour a week with somebody, like I've been happily married for 28 years, and if I only spend an hour a week with my husband, sitting next to him, not even like talking to him, just listening, I'm not going to really have that strong relationship that I want. And that would never work. I couldn't be happily married and do that. I know that. So it's important I spend all that time with my family, my kids, my husband, so that I know them and they know me. We know each other's heart, right? So I was showing up. I was getting filled. I was listening to the pastor every Sunday and then running on fumes. And when life was getting so overwhelming for me, I knew it didn't feel right because I didn't have that church family to call up and say, hey, I need to talk to somebody. It wasn't there. And the truth is, at first I blamed the church because I thought, how can they see me every Sunday and not know that, my hair is on fire? But the truth is I was really good at coming to church every Sunday and saying, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. How are you? I'm good. And I got really good at saying I'm good. So how on earth? I mean, we're human. We're not omniscient. We don't know what somebody is going through unless they're willing to open up and share. And at that point, I just wasn't doing that outside of church. And even if I did it during a Bible study for a brief period of time, it stayed at Bible study. I didn't connect with people like I should have outside of the Bible study. We kept it to that 1 hour a week, and that's not healthy either. So fast forward, I decided, of course, to break up with you guys, and I left the church for a year. It felt so strange to leave because obviously nobody would miss me. I called up a pastor to tell him, hey, I'm leaving, because I felt like I had to. I'd been here so many years. It just felt wrong to just walk away and not tell anyone. But I took responsibility and said, I think it was my fault. I don't know more people here, but the physical distance was getting in the way, and I'm going to try a church that's physically closer to me. And I thought that would solve all my problems, and that I could connect with people that were closer to my community where I lived. So I went to a larger church closer to me. It was a great church, but guess what? I did not connect with anyone. And it was a larger church, so it was even easier for me to show up and stay anonymous every Sunday. And so I ended up, we gave it a year, gave it a good shot, right? And still the same issues. And then I realized I had an epiphany that, gosh, I am the common denominator here. And so it's not the church, it's me. I'm not reaching out to make those connections. I'm not spending time with people to build relationships. And I probably should do that. But my family was more comfortable at New Life, so we came back to New Life. And it took me a little while even after that to kind of engage. But the catalyst for me, I think, was COVID. It was so isolating. And I was home 24/7 with the kids, and they were doing online school, and my husband was home working, and I loved spending time every day with my husband. But it's like if I came to his office every day and hung out with him, it was crazy. And so I loved it, but I wanted so badly to connect with people outside my immediate family. I needed to expand my family. And so I ended up trying a online Bible study because of COVID, right? We weren't even going to church in person. I was listening, so I really was disconnected. And through that isolation of COVID, I actually became more connected than I had ever been in my entire time here. I started on at a Bible study on Friday afternoons at noon. I started trying to make my old excuses again of, I'm busy, but we had some people in our Bible study group that were going through some pretty serious health issues, cancer, honestly. And I would get up and I just wasn't feeling it some days on Friday afternoon at noon. And maybe I hadn't had lunch yet and I was a little hangry. And I was like, well, do I eat lunch or do I go to Bible study? And then I thought about the people in my Bible study who were going through chemo. And yet they were still showing up to Bible study. And I'm like, dude, if I can't make it to Bible study on a Friday afternoon at noon because I have a headache or I'm not feeling it or I'm hungry, I'm not really committed to that relationship with them. And that's not a good family member. And I don't want to be a flaky family member. And so I started really trying to attend regularly. It changed my whole perspective on my church family. So much so that I was getting filled on Sunday and then I was getting filled on Friday, started feeling a little better, got a little more energy through the week. I had my midweek snack, right? Top up the tank a little. I joined another Bible study with some of the people in my Friday group. We met on Wednesdays. And today, if I were to get overwhelmed with life, I have people in my church family that I can call up and say, hey, I need to talk. And they're there for me. And I know that if their lives get overwhelming and they called me, I would stop whatever I was doing and I would be there for them. And that's what I missed so much about my church family in California. And I finally feel like I'm starting to get that here. And it's because we're spending time together every week. When I read Matthew 12, I tell you the truth, I don't know you. I don't want to not be known by my Father, but I also don't want to not be known by my family, my church family. I want to be known by them, and I want them to know me. I want them to know my heart. I want to walk through life together with them. And I was missing out on that all those years. And I know it's easy to say, oh, just join a Bible study group, right? But when you are overwhelmed with life, to add one more thing to it, I just kept thinking, I can't do it. I don't have time. I can't do it. But when I finally surrendered and gave in and joined a small group Bible study, I realized God honors our time. I had the energy to do what I needed to do through the week. It actually energized me. It built me up instead of tearing me down. It wasn't like one more load of laundry that's going to suck the energy out of you, or one more baseball game to sit through, or whatever is drawing your energy out during the day. It actually put energy in my day. It filled up my tank. So I'm very thankful for that. I would really encourage you, if you haven't joined a Bible study, to look into finding that right Bible study. It might not be Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Maybe you don't want to sit in traffic for an hour and a half. I didn't. That wasn't working well for me. But I kept at it, and I finally have found a group, a time, and just don't give up. Just keep trying if you have to, but find that group, and know that if you're still not feeling connected, for me, I had to look inward and say, you know what, am I really investing my time in this relationship with my church family? If you choose to surrender and just try it, but not just be that flaky family member, but really invest in the relationship with the other people. I had not been to church since March of 2020, before when COVID hit. And this Sunday was my first day back in person at church. I'm high risk health-wise, so I felt like I had to kind of protect my family, protect myself, and not do anything that I could do digitally. I was doing digitally. But I finally got back to church, and the first person I saw on Sunday was Jason from my Bible study. I get out of my car and he's standing in the parking lot. And it's the first time I'd ever met him in person. And I was so excited. And the next person I see is Amy, who's in my Bible study. And I've never felt so connected since I have been going here, since 2013, as I did this Sunday when I saw familiar faces from online. When I saw my church family in person, I was able to give them a hug. So it's just very moving to me. And this verse just really pulled it out of me. I don't know you. I don't ever not want to be known by my church family. And I don't want to not know my church family. So I hope that this encourages you to go meet somebody, not to just be fooled by their, hey, I'm okay, because we all do it and you know it. Let the guard down just a little bit. Maybe answer that question a little more honestly, and reach out to church family. We're all here for each other, and we can only be here for each other if we know each other. Thanks, guys.